Nasheman News. I'm Rizwan. Today I have come to Amanath Cooperative Bank, a bank which was started for the sake of minorities in the year 1977, and it has been 45 years since the bank has started. The bank went under a crisis for a brief period, that is 5th of April 2013. The bank was imposed with Section 35A. And with the new board of directors were elected in the month of October in the year 2017, have come, and it is 4 years since the new directors have come, headed by Mr. Kabeer, who is the president of the bank. And today, the bank is on the road to recovery. And exactly 2 years ago, that is 3rd of January 2020, the bank was revived and Section 35A was taken back, and the bank started functioning normally. Today being the second anniversary, Nasheman News has met the president to ask the road of recovery. What is the status of the bank? How is the bank, it was in dollar terms, how you have recovered, and what are your future plans?
Yeah. You see, the bank, as you said, was established in the year 1977. That was established when, for the minority community bank, the banking sector was sort of unknown. The minorities were not into any sort of banking, and thereby to establish a bank at that time and to bring the people together was an Herculean task. The founders of the bank have done that. I congratulate them from the bottom of my heart. All the founders, all the people involved at that time in the establishment of the bank, they have done a wonderful job for the community, and I congratulate them for having established the bank. You see, after the bank was established, the bank was doing very well, and bank achieved almost a deposit level of 550 crore rupees. And it was doing very well. But unfortunately...
It got the status of one of the best banks also.
It got the status of a scheduled bank.
Scheduled bank.
So scheduled bank is the bank recognized by the Reserve Bank of India and put into the schedule of the Banking Regulation Act. And this bank is the only bank in Karnataka in the cooperative sector which was brought in the schedule to be called as a scheduled bank, and it was then at that time till today. It's the only bank which is a scheduled bank in cooperative sector in Karnataka. It's not only a Muslim minority scheduled bank, it's for the whole of Karnataka. Of all the cooperative banks, this is the only scheduled bank in Karnataka. And in the Muslim community banks, minority community banks, there are two banks which are scheduled bank in the cooperative sector today. One is Mercantile Bank of Bombay and second is Amanath Cooperative Bank. There is no other bank which is in the scheduled sector, in the cooperative sector among the minority, Muslim minority banks. So coming back to your point which you asked about what happened, the doldrums bank was in and all that. Sorry. You see, what happened, the bank was doing very well, but unfortunately some fraud occurred in the bank. And because of that, the bank lives on trust. So once the trust is lost, the bank naturally gets into various problems. So unfortunately, because of that fraud, and the effect of that fraud, what happened was a lot of people who had borrowed money did not pay the money in time, and the fraud itself was drawing of the money, and those assets totally became NPA. And naturally, because there was no trust, the bank came down drastically in its all activities, and unfortunately, the bank was taken over by the state government, and the government appointed an administrator and then the bank was under the bank's administrator for almost 5 to 6 years. And then when things were not very well at that time, unfortunately, the bank at that time had to provide for all the NPA assets and NPA loan accounts, and thereby what happened was the profitability of the bank went down, and bank started incurring heavy losses, and thereby the net worth eroded, and the net worth came into negative. So once the net worth comes into negative, the Reserve Bank of India doesn't allow bank to continue, so they applied Section 35A and stopped the banking operation of the bank. So unfortunately, the banking operation was stopped on 5th of April 2013. 5th of April 2013, the bank operation got stopped, normal banking operation. And thereby, once the banking operation gets stopped, the whole banking activity comes to a standstill. And here let me tell you, there are several banks on which this has been imposed by Reserve Bank of India since India's independence. There are a lot of cooperative banks, commercial banks where 35A section has been applied, and most of those banks, particularly referring to banks under cooperative sector, which are scheduled bank, where this has been applied, either those banks have been closed, liquidated, or merged with some other bank. Amanath Bank is the only bank in whole of India since India's independence in cooperative sector, cooperative scheduled bank status, has come back on its own and got a new life, and that happened on 3rd of January 2020.
In 7 years' time, it took 7 years' time for the bank to be revived.
Right.
And after you took over as a
President
and the new board of directors, what steps did you take to revive the bank?
See, at that time when we came in, the new board of directors took office in October 2017. So at that time, we decided that we should get the bank revived at any cost. That was our main goal. This is the only bank of the community here in Bangalore, and lot of depositors' money is stuck because once 35A applies, the depositors could not withdraw the money. So a lot of depositors were suffering. And huge suffering was there. Considering all that, we decided that at any cost we should try to revive the bank and bring the bank to normal banking operation. So once we took that step, then the very first thing that we had to do was to bring the negative net worth of the bank into positive net worth. Because there was no operation, it was not possible to achieve that by increasing the profits, because the bank was not under operation at that time. So the other mode to increase the net worth was to bring in capital. So we decided that we will try to increase our capital. So what we did, there was a decision of the High Court that 20% of the depositors' money could be converted into share capital, and RBI had laid a condition that the depositors should give consent for the conversion of their money into share capital. So all our team, the whole staff worked hard in the direction of getting the consent of the depositors, and finally we achieved most of the depositors.
How many depositors did you have at that time?
Depositors are in...
1 lakh depositors?
The account holders are about 1,40,000. The depositors could be who had kept fixed deposit and term deposits and all those kind of things, was more or less in that range. Every account had that.
20% of that...
So 20% of the depositors' money could be converted, but most of the depositors supported us. Most of the depositors were able to give the consent, or they gave the consent, and we converted that money, the deposits money, to share capital. And besides that, there were a lot of well-wishers of the bank, business community of the bank, who wanted to support the bank to be re-established. So they also contributed substantial money to the share capital of the bank. So by thereby the share capital increased. And also what we further did, there were a lot of NPAs and fraudulent NPAs. We aggressively worked on that, and we placed the assets, got all the legal hurdles cleared, and put the assets into auction. But because auction was not happening, people were not willing to buy those properties because of the bad name which was attached with those properties. So what we did, there is a provision there. By using that provision in the Societies Act, we registered those properties after due clearances in the name of the bank. So thereby we created non-banking assets, and we increased our net worth proportionately.
So what is the net worth?
You see, we totally brought in about 85 crore rupees in order to convert the negative net worth into positive, and now our net worth is in positive, and thereby we got the permission to open the bank on 3rd of January 2020.
So today is
and today we have completed 2 years, and with that I thank all the authorities who supported us.
It's been 2 years since the bank has been operational.
Yeah.
And how is the community taking the bank opening? And what is the feedback you're getting? Or people are coming and depositing, or people have got the same confidence in you? And or you said that many people are coming to help the bank.
Yeah.
So do you think how's the road to recovery now exactly? What are your future plans? Because of the share deposit of money and shareholders getting shareholders, the bank is survived, which you are thankful to the depositors for saving the bank. Now, what is your plan to revive?
Okay, I'll tell you. You see, when the bank got permission from Reserve Bank of India to open and operate the bank on 3rd of January 2020, we wanted to go in a very aggressive manner at that time. And in fact, we wanted to have a huge function with Chief Minister being invited, and the community to know that the bank is opened in broader sense. But because of COVID-19, and before we could plan out things and bring it to action, the COVID effect got started and restrictions got started, and then subsequently lockdowns were there. So because of these two COVID periods, two COVID waves, and associated with COVID-2 lockdowns, we were not able to so aggressively go and market our product. But however, we have been doing in a normal way, and banking operation, we have been trying to improve upon that. And you see, whenever the economy goes down, it's very difficult for banking industry also. Because of COVID-19, the whole economy has gone down, and associated with that, our operations were also not that aggressively improved as we would have expected it to be. But however, they have been going on. In fact, you see, we have got more deposits coming in from the pygmy collection accounts. Almost we are collecting about 1.25 crores from pygmy collections alone per month. So which is a substantial amount, and which we further want to increase and carry on.
So once the bank opened, did you see any rush of people coming and asking for the money, and many were suffering, and your bank has been giving money to people who are in need? So what is the procedure? Because a lot of the questions are there. People are asking when will they get money back, and they've got the misconception that nothing is well. So why don't you clear the air in that?
You see, Reserve Bank of India has allowed us to open the bank. Unless and until they have got the confidence, they would not allow us to open and operate the bank. So they have got the confidence, and they are the authority. So we have got a positive network, and we are doing very well. We are doing well. Now, to answer your question, yes, when we opened the bank, there was rush. People came and took the money also, and our people explained to them that bank has started operating. You can operate the account, you can take the loans, you can operate the bank account. Many people have cooperated, and they are operating. But still, again, it is, I would say, not up to the expectations that it should be. So my appeal to all the shareholders, depositors, and public in general, this is your bank. you got to see that it is bank is opened now. You have to start operating with the bank. And then only any business for that matter. You started your new business, and if the business has been started, if there is no customer in that business, no customer coming in, no customer going down, so the shop holder will be having left with the stock what he brought in. Same thing applies to every business. So in bank also, yes, we have all worked hard in order to revive the bank. Bank is revived. Bank is normally working. People can put in their money. People can deposit their money. Normally working. So my appeal to you, to all the people is, you please bank with Amanath Cooperative Bank. This is your bank, and I'm sure you will make this bank a very successful.
So one more question is that, is Amanath Bank giving loans?
Yes, Amanath Bank is giving loans. Particularly, we are concentrating on giving gold loans. And since we have opened the bank, several hundreds of people have taken gold loans and deposit loans. Hundreds of people have taken. And people are putting in money. Things are operating. And we have also given to loan to many of the teachers working in government schools, so that it is little bit, though it's an unsecured loan because they are working in government schools.
Giving cattle loan also.
It's an indirect security. Yes, we are giving unsecured loan wherever there is a source of income is there. So as a trial, we started giving loans in Gulbarga district for cattle loan. So we have disbursed many cattle loans in Gulbarga district, and we have provided them cattle through these personal loans. And they are paying the money in time because they are getting revenue by selling the milk that they get from the cattle, and they are doing good business.
Now Amanath Bank has opened. What are the new steps like RTGS payment and credit card, debit card, ATM? Because this bank is being opened to the community, and there are a lot of questions arising that this bank has to be on the par with other banks. Right. So you've got any plans for that?
As a matter of fact, just to tell you the fact, previously our bank was in the old software, which is 27 years old type of software, which is not compatible with the new banking requirements like RTGS, NEFT, etc., etc. So we got a new software. Core banking software we got, and we have already installed this. We have taken core banking software on a lease basis from a company called CH, which is a joint venture of SBI, State Bank of India, and TCS. So it's a joint venture company of these two big companies, and this CH has given already software to us, and we have already installed, and we are already working on the software. So because of that, we can go to any other the current type of transactions like RTGS and NEFT. This is under testing stage, RTGS and NEFT, and hopefully in another week to 10 days that should be operational.
What about the debit card?
And we are giving a rupee card to our customers. That also is in the printing stage because our software was recently installed, and we are already operational in software. One by one we have started applying the items which recently we have to do. And in that, as I said, RTGS NEFT is one item that is more or less testing is going on for that, and we should be in a week's time we should be able to do it. And RuPay card is in the printing stage. That also in another 2 weeks' time we should be able to issue the RuPay card. RuPay card is a debit card basically. The advantage of the RuPay card is, you see, the central government has entered into bilateral agreement with several countries for the acceptance of this RuPay card in their countries. Like UAE, they have entered into an agreement. Saudi Arabia, they have entered into agreement. Bahrain, they have entered into an agreement. Australia, Singapore, and many other countries. So with that, this RuPay card is accepted in those countries. So our people, when they go on a visit to Dubai to do shopping, or they go to Saudi Arabia for Umrah or Hajj, this debit card, RuPay card, what we give them, it can be used in their places, as long as they have got the balance in their current account or in their account with us from which they have taken this rupee card. So this rupee card is a benefit to all these people who use them, whether they have got savings bank account, whether they have got current bank account. They can use this rupee card not only in India, in Saudi Arabia, in UAE, in Bahrain and all these places. So that advantage is there. And besides that, all POS system we are putting in place, that is in shops you might have seen where if a customer purchases some items, instead of paying cash he uses debit card, and that debit card is swiped in a small machine. That machine is called POS machine. And we are providing POS. We have tied up with Paytm, and with that we should be able to provide this service to several shop owners so that they can use this machine and withdraw and use that and serve the customers by taking their debit card.
Will be one last question. How confident are you, and what confidence are you giving to your customer?
I'm totally confident. Bank is on sound footings, and Reserve Bank of India has given us the permission. With that, we should have the confidence, I would say. Yes, now we have to improve the bank. Improvement of bank would happen only when there more deposits come in and business is carried on by giving loans and things like that. So I request everybody else to please bank. I'm not telling you keep money on a long-term deposits. I'm just telling everybody should start banking with Amanath Cooperative Bank in a way that the bank gets into its normal business activities completely, as it was doing before these things got started after certain 35 years, etc.
Thank you for speaking to Nasheman. It was very nice. Kabeer Ahmad Saab, who took over as the president in the year 2017, is bringing back the Amanath Bank back to recovery, and he's very confident the bank will do very well, and he's requesting all the customers to come and bank Amanath Bank. Have the confidence. Amanath Bank is your bank. That's his motto, and it remains to be seen what heights Amanath Bank touches in near future. There is one signing off for Nasheman News.